Ayan, ayan. So, hello, beautiful business-minded people. Ito ba ang dialogue natin, no? Okay lang naman kami, okay lang naman ang pera namin. Hindi namin kailangan ng accounting. O kaya ganito, mag-asawa naman kami, trust lang ang kailangan namin sa pera. O kaya baka sinasabi nyo rin na basta kumikita ang negosyo namin, okay na yan. Hindi na kailangan pa ng sistema. Now, how many times have we heard these words from couples who run businesses together? Tinitingnan pa natin ang mga successful couple entrepreneurs or couplepreneurs at iniisip na swerte lang sila sa pera. Pero hindi natin alam na may mga financial systems pala sila. So, what if I told you that avoiding these common money mistakes can be the difference between a thriving business marriage partnership and one that struggles with both money and relationships? So, welcome po sa ating Facebook Live mga anak, sa ating Zoom call. And today is again a Tuesday. Kaya we have another episode of our Nego Show, which is Meet My Friends series. And I'm so excited to have you all here today. So, dahil marami pa rin tayong mga one at first timers, so yung mga suki natin, please allow me to give a short introduction para sa mga first timers. So, for the first timers, I want you to know that I'm a retired business owner with more than 40 years of experience na. At maraming nagtatanong, ano ba talagang negosyo mo, Mami N? So, I'd like you to know that we were franchisees for Chowking for 18 long years. At saka licensee po kami ng STI College sa Zamboanga City for 28 years. Naging owners din po kami ng mga computer repair shops, kaya kung magtatanong po kayo sa akin tungkol sa mga service businesses, I can help you. Pension houses and also jewelry stores. So ngayon, naipasa na po namin yung mga negosyo namin sa aming mga anak. And I am now an author. Full-time na po ako na author, business mentor, and coach. At ang aking po trabaho, full-time job, is makatulong sa mga Filipino women entrepreneurs, couplepreneurs, business owners na palakihin yung kanilang negosyo, palaguin para mas marami silang matutulungang mga employees and makakapag-serve sila sa maraming mga customers. So ang mission ko po is to share yung mga hard-earned lessons na natutunan ko in my 40 plus years as a business owner para hindi nyo napagdaanan yung mga struggles na pinagdaanan ko. Kaya, kung kailangan po ninyo ng mga free na resources, visit us at maminegosyo.com. That's maminegosyo.com para may mga freebies po tayo. Okay, so today, ang topic po natin, this is also something free that we do every Tuesday, and we invite our guest experts to help educate us. No? So ang ating topic ay 5 money mistakes that Filipino couples in business make. And syempre, kung ipapalabas natin yung mga pag-uusapan natin mga mistakes, kailangan meron ding solusyon. Kaya how to fix them. So a little backstory, last year, naimbitahan po akong mag-attend ng isang event ng ang tawag ay BEPO, where I learned a lot about an accounting software developed by Pinoys for Pinoys. Sariling atin po. And to prepare for this, I had a call with a beautiful owner ng company who was so humble and down to earth that we became friends right away. Masyado po akong na-impress sa kanya. At lalo na nung na-meet ko yung kanyang husband. Dahil kasi nasa States na sila dati eh. Okay na yung buhay nila eh. Pero they decided pa rin to come back to our country, to come home, and to focus on helping Pinoys instead. Kaya basta gano'n, talagang nanlalambot yung puso ko for people who love our country so much. So a few weeks ago, as a speaker ng kanilang event, I learned na yung kanilang software application pala ngayon ay nag-level up na at meron ng AI integration. Kaya alam nyo naman ako, pag meron akong bagong natututunan, I'm very excited to share it dito sa community natin. Kasi gusto ko, matututunan din nating lahat ang mga exciting things that I learned. Kaya without further ado, tama na yung chismis, Mami N. So help me welcome my inspiring friends, my new friends, the power couple behind the popular software na Juan by Juan Tax, Marvin and Jenny Galang. Yan. So Marvin and Jenny, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you po, Mami Ann.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon po sa lahat din ng viewers and listeners ng ating Meet My Friends. I wanna meet you all too.
Yan. Okay, so Marvin and Jenny, I will be asking you some questions. Tapos, we will also get questions from our viewers sa Zoom at saka sa Facebook. Is that okay?
Yes po.
Yes, okay na okay po.
So, medyo matamlay ngayon si Miss Jenny dahil medyo sick daw siya ng konti. But she's gonna give our viewers her best. Yan. No? So, our show, actually, Marvin and Jenny will only be for an hour. Pero sometimes, most of the time, actually, sa dami ng mga questions from our audience, we tend to go over time. Kaya, I already talked to you. Sabi niyo naman kanina, you can stay even until 5. And I'm very, very grateful. Kaya, I'd like to share this also sa ating mga viewers, ha. Mabait po talaga itong couple na to dahil they will answer all the questions that you will be asking. Kaya, pag meron pong question na biglang pumasok sa mga isipan natin habang nag-uusap po kami, paki-type ka agad sa ating chat box para pwede naming mabalikan. Huwag po tayong mahiya dahil babalikan talaga natin lahat ng mga questions. Okay. So, first question na natin, no? So, Marvin and Jenny, gusto kong marinig yung inyong love story. Kwento muna, no? So, you two have been in business together ever since you got married, di ba? Tama ba yon? Paano bang nangyari yung buhay-buhay?
Ako ba? We did not start yung traditional route po. So we were career-oriented. We had an opportunity to go to the US, so we went to the US. We got married here, pero our first 4 or 5 years was in the US. Then we had 2 kids. 2 of our kids were born there. Traditional, so we were employees. I was working for several companies actually. And then 2007, we found an opportunity to venture into our first business. Pero yung business na yon, ako lang po muna. It was here in the Philippines that time. So it was
CPA pala, Marvin. Sorry to interrupt you.
Opo. Yeah.
Jenny rin.
Si Jenny po, self-proclaimed CPA. Siya talaga yung auditor eh. Hindi, pero she's not. She's computer application.
Yes, and housewife for the longest time. So 2007, we moved back here. Nagkaroon ako ng 3rd baby. And then, work pa ulit siya.
Ano yung naging trigger at naisipan pa ninyong bumalik samantalang yung iba, yun na lang talaga ang kanilang American dream forever and ever. Kayo nandoon na at naisipan nyo pang bumalik.
The opportunity to go to the US was because of my dad. So he applied for a professional visa when he was still single. And then nagkaroon siya ng visa pero meron na siyang 3 anak and then asawa. So nadamay po kaming lahat. The reality po, I never really saw myself immigrating. In fact, I always share this sa mga talks, especially sa mga tao po namin. I always believe that there is a reason bakit ka pinanganak sa Pilipinas. Kasi pwede naman po akong ipanganak sa Amerika, kayo po pwede kayo ipanganak sa ibang lugar, pero bakit ka pinanganak na Pilipino? And naniniwala po ako na may dahilan, and I think you will achieve your full potential kung doon ka, kung saan ka tinanim, di ba? Tinanim ka sa Pilipinas, so dapat dito ka tumubo. So we tried several times, in fact, 3 strikes to leave this country. Yung una, when my dad brought us to migrate. So wala pa po si Jenny noon sa buhay ko. After 1 year, bumalik na po ako dito. Anong taon yan? I was 15 years old. So the whole family immigrated. After 1 year, I went back. So at pinilit ko pong matapos dito, mag-aral, tinapos ko. And it's just one day, I told my dad, uuwi na ako sa Pilipinas. Sabi niya, bakit? Doon na lang ako magtatapos mag-aral. And then tatapusin ko na rin yung college. So that was the first. The second, after po ng college, nagtrabaho po ako for a few months. And unfortunately, mapapaso na yung visa nyo. So I told my dad, ipapapaso ko na to. I'll just surrender this.
Wow, pinaghirapan niya. Tapos,
So, tama yung sabi nyo, pinaghirapan niya. Kasi sabi niya, like what you said po kanina, maraming gusto yan and sometimes they die for that or spend a lot of money for that. And yet ikaw, meron ka na, itatapon mo lang. So, again, unfortunately, I listened to him, or fortunately, I listened to him. So, second time I went. And then that was the time that we found our way back. Itong second time. Mamaya ko na lang ikikwento yung third kung may magtatanong. Pero yung second time, we found an opportunity through business. I was involved in outsourcing. And during that time, 2007, medyo nagsisimula na po yung outsourcing. And so we found an opportunity to come back and build a business here.
kasama na si Jenny noon.
The whole family, Jenny, and then yung, at that time, 2 kids.
Okay. So, yun yung continuation ng kwento kanina, no? So, you came home because you wanted to start a business, and that was the BPO business.
Yes, that was a BPO business back in 2007.
Alright. So, yun yung naging foundation sa inyong business partnership.
Actually, hindi po. That was just myself. And then,
Si Jenny was still went back to working or nag-housewife na lang talaga siya?
she was housewife. She
For
was
7, 8 years.
for 8 years. So she was
Here,
housewife.
nasa Philippines, no?
Yeah, from the US and then here. And then fast forward, yung first business did not really do well to the point we had to shut it down in 2010. Siguro we rested sabbatical for a couple of years. And then when we thought about, hey, maybe we should try this again, doon na po kami magkasama. So we started a company in 2013 together.
Okay. So, yun na yun. Yun na yung second attempt ninyo.
Correct.
But this time, you were together na.
Together, yes.
Okay, great. So, pag-usapan naman natin yung pera, no? Because a lot of the people here who are watching us are interested, no, dun sa ating topic. So, when it comes to money management between the two of you, sino ba yung humahawak ng pera? At yung pera ba ay pera ng negosyo or pera ng family? Paano yun? Paano yung na-manage yun?
Okay, sinong humahawak?
Tahimik lang ako dito.
Tahimik lang si Jenny. Marami po tayong kakayanan at mga regalo ng Panginoon. Pero ako po bilang accountant, unfortunately, ako po ay walang pake sa pera. So, si Jenny po. So, si Jenny is very good in money, very good in may pagkakuripot yan, marunong mag-ipon. And so, siguro ang kalakasan ko is pagtanggap na siya yung magaling, okay, ikaw na mag-handle ng pera.
Oo. Ano muna, pause muna doon. Akala ko kasi accountant magaling sa pera. So, parang nung una, nasa kanya muna. Tapos parang may pagkagastador to Surrender na lang siya sa akin.
Magaling kami sa pera ng iba, hindi sa pera namin. In fact, baka ang pinakamalalang libro ay libro ng accountant. Hindi nga kami, yung libro ng iba naayos namin, libro namin mahirap. But yung second question was more on money of the business or money of the family. Siguro yun yung isang mistake na hindi natin pwedeng gawin. Lagi dapat siyang magkahiwalay. So I think yung first principle that we teach in accounting is yung entity, di ba? Which napansin din namin in a lot of clients that we had before, lalo na yung individual businesses, hindi sila nagse-set up ng bank account para sa business, yung deposit isang account na lang para yung sa kabuuan, napakahirap kung i-account namin mix nila, no? So immediately sa amin, hindi naman po. So pag money ng business, it goes to a business account. If we need funds, there are legal ways to get the funds and account for it properly.
Okay, good, no? At least nag-umpisa kayo ng tama, no? Unlike yung most people nga, no? Kahit na malaki na yung negosyo, million-million na yung kinikita. May client nga ako ngayon lately, nagulat ako, million-million na yung kinikita, pero magkasama pa rin yung pera. Wala pa rin silang, kung anong kailangan nila, kukuha lang sila doon sa business. Sabi ko, paano nung nalalaman na kumikita kayo? Basta alam namin kumikita kasi lumalago daw yung pera. But then, how much are they making? They do not know. Kasi nga, labo-labo. So, yeah, thank you for that lesson. No? Sana yung mga nanonood, sana na tutunan ninyo na hindi lang si Mami N ang nagsasabi na kailangan hiwalay ang pera ng negosyo at ang pera ng personal ng mga may-ari. And did you get a salary from How did you do it? How did you manage it? Kumuha ba kayo ng pera or sweldo sa business para sabihin ninyo na ito yung para sa bahay, ito yung para sa business? How was it done?
Initially talaga, ako yung unang sumweldo. Ako, since nasa akin yung pera, ako yung unang sa sweldo. No? So, kumuha lang kami ng very minimal lang naman, no? Para yung pang araw-araw namin sa mga bata, ganyan. Minsan nga, parang feeling ko sa sobrang liit ng sweldo ko, parang unfair na rin sa mga bata kasi sabi ko, paano tayo mag-mall, mga ganyan. Pero wala talaga talagang kuripot lang talaga ako. So, pero yes, kumuha ako ng small sweldo naman para pang-ikot namin sa family finances namin.
Pero may dagdag lang ako doon, no, Mami N. Yun yung legal way, di ba? So we were saying, money of the business has to stay in the business. If you need funds, then do it the legal way. So salary is one. Obviously, dividends kung may extra sa year-end or kung kailan man magde-declare. Pero when Jenny and I spoke about salary, sa akin lang to, no? So immediately I told her, just calculate kung magkano yung kailangan natin as a family and then pasweldohin mo yung sarili mo. So sa kanya, even up to this point, I always wear the mentality of a startup founder, yung laging gutom, walang pera, yung laging So, and even up to now, yung minimal na kailangan, siguro okay na ako. Basta si Jenny kasi siya ngayon nag-handle ng finances even sa bahay. So, I think whether it will work for you or for our guests, I don't know. But for me, it's working. Kasi lagi kang gutom. Lagi kang nag-iisip ng ano bang bagong idea, ganyan. Because sometimes when now we're in our comfort zone, anyway, kumikita ka na naman ganun na kalaki. Sometimes I experienced it before. Okay na to, Sabado, gastusin na lang natin to, parang ganun. So, the more na wala akong mahawakan, the better for me. So, problema na lang iniisip ko. Ano ba problema pwede natin i-solve?
Oo, another negosyo, ganun.
Another idea, another business idea, no? So I love that, no? Always be hungry. Yan ang quotation. Always be hungry. Parang, di ba, parang napaka-familiar ng ng quotation na yan. But that seems to work for you. And I'm sure nag-a-advise ka rin sa mga clients mo na papaanong ihiwalay yung kanilang pera ng negosyo at pera ng sarili nila. So how would you, I always get this, wala pong nagtatanong ngayon, pero usually ang daming nagtatanong, paano kung malalaman, Mami N, kung magkano yung sweldo na dapat kong kunin? No, like sabi mo, ang ginawa ninyo ni Jenny is kung ano yung mga pangangailangan, more or less yun lang. At mabutit kuripot si Jenny. No, kaya nakafocus siya sa maliit na amount. Pero what do you usually advise your clients on how to be able to solve that problem of separating the business money from their personal money?
Number one would be really, hindi lang siya theory, dapat pati actual hiwalay, which means yung bank accounts should be separate. So sa business, lalo na mahirap po ito sa sole prop kasi sa corporation setup, baka pwede pa akong makontrol kasi the corporation would have its own bank account. Pero pag self-employed, sole proprietor, sometimes yun na yung bank account na ginagamit nila kasi naka-open na naman. So minsan either yung hassle po ng pag-open ng bank account, mag-open na naman ako tapos paghihiwalayin ko. So nahihirapan po yung iba. Pero really the first is do it hindi lang in principle pero talagang gawin. Whether hassle mag-set up ng bank account, it has to be separate, lalo na nga sa mga self-employed. Pangalawa, even sa credit, Kasi we always advise sa Amerika, lalo na and sa ibang bansa, they're able to get credit cards. In the Philippines, you are, but sometimes with the BIR, they require na yung credit card ng business has to be a business account, which is mahirap. So, but when the use of cards, we always advise, hiwalayin mo. Kasi sometimes, ito lang yung card ko malaki naman limit, gagamitin ko na. How are you going to account for that? And yung gastos mong yan, pang business yan, yung iba pang personal. So, ang hirap pong i-account. So, dapat talaga hiwalay na hiwalay. When we talked about our salary, yun, so we started there, yung magkano muna yung pangangailangan natin, siguro yun muna yung i-address natin. But eventually, the determination siguro nung compensation or how you would pay yourselves would be a function of the, ano ba yung market. Lalo na pag may ibang business owners involved, or you have an investor, you have other partners, kinakailangan malinaw. Hindi yung pangangailangan mo na lang muna, doon mag-isimula. Pero eventually, like ano ba yung market? If you're the president, ano ba talaga yung salary ng president? I think this is very important to eventually, to put that value para makita mo rin ano ba value mo sa business na to. And for others to look at your financials, imagine a financial of, you're making 100 million, ang sweldo mo 20,000 a month or 50,000 a month, ikaw yung hindi natutulog. Nakakatawa. And for others to look at that financial, makikita nila hindi mo binavalue yung sarili mo ng tama. So, I think hindi rin po maganda.
Or the other way around. Yeah. Startup company ka and yet you're paying yourself 500,000 pesos. Di ba? Parang crazy naman yun.
No, papatayin mo na yung negosyo, hindi pa kayo nag-uumpisa. Yeah. So true. No? So, I also have a client na ang ginawa nila dahil mag-partner silang pumasok sa negosyo na yon, basta usapan, tigwa 100,000 tayo. Hindi nila alam kung kumikita yung negosyo nila o hindi, pero tigwa 100,000 sila every month. So, to the point na yung negosyo nila ngayon nangungutang para mabayaran lang yung kanilang sweldo. Diba? That's so crazy. But I totally agree with what you said, Marvin, and Jenny, na titingnan mo yung value mo. So, actually, sinasuggest ko rin sa aking mga clients is, kung magtatrabaho ka ba sa labas, magkano bang sweldo na deserve mo, na madaling makapag-apply ka ng work, then probably, yun yung pinakasiling kasi yan ang worth mo sa job market. No? So, you can start with that or you can go even lower than that pag maliit pa yung negosyo, but aim for that. Tapos, iba yung sweldo, iba yung dividendo, di ba? Kikita ka kung kikita yung company, pero yung sweldo mo, yun yung fix. Tama, you live within that number. Yun, no? So, I don't know if you would agree with that, Marvin, pero yan yung that's the practice that I would have, and even my kids. Paano ko kayong babayaran if you work with the business? So, trabaho muna kayo. O, magkano yung offer doon? Sige, tatapatan ko. Libre pa kayo bahay, libre pa lahat, pero sweldo lang, net na yon. So, they get their pera solid. Hindi na sila magbabayad ng condo and all. So, that's how I'm able to attract my kids to work for me. Tapos, of course, they have profit shares.
Definitely.
Nagwa-work naman sa akin, so I hope it works with the others as well. Sinishare ko lang. Now, talk as a couple, Marvin and Jenny, do you regularly talk about money? How do you talk about money? When do you talk about money? When does this type of conversations come in sa buhay ninyo?
Madalas sa amin, when we talk about money, it's really money sa business. Kasi nagtitrickle down pababa sa amin Kasi because medyo minimal nga yung sweldo, no? So kapag may nangyayari sa mga business finances, kailangan pang pa-payroll, ganyan. So parang yun yung kailangan madalas, no? So yun that's the reason why nakakatulong yun na naka-organize naman yung mga finances namin na may kami, nakikita ko yun, no? With the software, no? So lagi ko sasabihin, kulang na tayo ng panweldo, especially couple of years ago, especially during the pandemic, right? Na parang, nangangamba, ilan na lang runway natin, di ba? And medyo mahirap pag-usapan kasi medyo may pagka-emotional Other than boss ko siya, 'Di ba? Husband ko din siya. So it's like doble yung emotions in there. So usually pag kinakausap ko siya, kakausapin ko siya, good mood siya. Tapos mabilis lang, yung parang oh by the way. Tapos after nun, parang nagbabuffer pa yan, nag-iisip pa. Malalim ang pag-iisip. Tapos saka naman magsasalita, no? So yun, usually siya. Tempuhan lang, ayoko siyang tempuhan na bad mood, no? So, ganon lang siya, no? Parang as a matter of fact. Kasi sa amin, especially when it comes to money, sensitive, di ba? Siguro sa mga pinanggalingan natin sa buhay, ako, nuknukan ako ng kuripot, ayokong maghirap, parang ganon. So, siguro ganon din siya, no? So, kaya sa amin, very lang yun, parang as a matter of fact lang, ito yung estado natin, anong gagawin natin, makakakuha ba tayo? Kasi kung hindi, ito yung possible na solution na pwede kong mabigay. Ganon. So, ganon lang siya.
Sa business, madalas po. Wala tayo pong choice. No? We don't have a choice but to talk about the reality. So, this is our P&L, this is our balance sheet, ito yung results. So, we have funds, we don't have funds, we need to raise capital, etc. So, we have to talk about that. Sa personal, definitely we recommend that they sit down, couples should sit down and talk about personal. Sa amin, we already made the decision way before. When we made the decision, Jenny, to handle money, nag-give up na po ako. It's very important that there's that sense of trust, diba? So I trust Jenny a lot to take care of our finances as long as proper accounting, recording, to the point na hindi ko po alam kung ano ang status ng finances. So, bahala ka na. Of course, we review it probably once a year. Pero yung day-to-day, hindi. Wala pong, si Jenny kausapin mo. Sa personal po yan, sa personal.
Naaawa nga one time yung accountant, nakita niya, naka-share screen ako, humihingi ka ng Gcash sa akin. Kawawa naman si sir, walang pera sa Gcash sa akin.
Walang naniniwala tuloy.
Nakakatuwa naman. Yeah, ganun talaga, no? People would never expect that that's happening to us. Pero talagang ganun Discipline sa pera. Tsaka also trust. Like, alam mo naman na hindi siya maluho. Alam mo naman na si Jenny hindi maluho na maya-maya bagong branded bag ang binabandera sa'yo. So, pag ganyan, medyo kakabahan ka na. How prudent she is. So, parang the trust is there talaga. Yan, that's good. So, ang next question ko dito ay parang nasagot nyo na tungkol sa kung paano nyo hinahandle yung kaperahan, kung may sweldo ba kayo, you said yes. And then, of course, you just get money from out of the business, a fixed amount of salary, and the rest is just reinvested to grow it continuously. Tama ba? Yeah. So, bakit ganon? Explain natin sa ating mga nakikinig or nanonood na bakit ganon? Bakit kailangang iwan yung pera sa negosyo at palalaguin?
Sa amin po kasi, we would say na masyado kaming risk taker in a way, no? Parang we always put the money in the business because we believe in all of our businesses, no? So other than the outsourcing company na doon namin pinalago yung pera namin, we also invested a lot in the tax software, no? So as mentioned nga by Marvin earlier, no? So kumukuha lang din kami ng sapat para sa amin. Then we just really reinvest, and that's where we put, yung iba kasi nagre-reinvest sila sa mga money market, no, ganyan. Pero kami, we really invested in the business.
There's a lot of people involved in the business, that is not just us, which is our team members, our people. And we always believe na they're part of this. So how can they participate or take advantage of them being part of our company? Syempre, may sweldo sila. Definitely, hopefully, they're real owners in a way, siguro, employee stock options. But if none of the above, as far as stock options, if it's investing in their growth. So training, new things that are happening, we want them to be involved. Like technology is one thing. Siguro sa company, we always invest in new things, technology and all, sa training. One thing na we saw, when we started yung sa outsourcing, I remember this, we have to price this particular engagement. And this particular engagement is something that's new to us. So hindi rin po kami expert. So we had to, lagi kami nag-usap. Ano ba price niyan? So pinapresyo po sa akin yung ano. I know that we are able to survive kasi the funds are there. Kasi if we took the funds, mahirapan kaming mag-decide ng ganito. But the decision was very basic, at least for me. I lowered the price to the point that it's gonna make money a little bit, but I want us to learn from that experience. So it's an outsourcing engagement. Bottom line, I priced it at $5 per hour. At that time, this was in 2015. Price it at $5. Sa presyong $5 an hour, presyo po ito ng ibang bansa na medyo mababa. And probably a lot of our freelancers would also comment and may have a negative reaction on that one. Sasabihin natin, yung value nun binabaan mo. Actually, hindi. Kasi basic question ko with our team is, expert ka ba dyan? Sir, hindi pa. O bakit ka nagko-complain? I'm paying you $5 an hour, or we are getting paid $5 an hour to be an expert in something. Kasi hindi ka pa expert and if we do good, just imagine the possibility. So bottom line, we got the deal. It was 2015. Nag-pandemic, hindi kami binitawan. Lumaki siya ng lumaki to the point na even ngayon, with automation, because this is really manual review and quality assurance of setting up accounting books. This is in the outsourcing business. No? So we've converted over 30,000 companies already. But even with automation, hindi na putol to. What is my point? If we do not have money in our company, if we just used it, withdrew the money, nag-travel na lang kami, and we did not reinvest it to fund that learning, I don't think we will survive. I would have priced it $10, $15 kasi makakabahan ka na So reinvest, look at other opportunities. That's an opportunity to learn. Let's put some money there, even though maliit siya ng konti kasi kaya naman natin because we have, and so far that's our secret for growing slowly.
Yan, I love what you said, Marvin. Magandang strategy yan. Actually, ganun din ang sinusunod namin na strategy mag-asawa. We just get a little bit. Sabi nga nila, kakuripot ni wala kayong kotse. Wala, hindi naman namin kailangan ng kotse sa probinsya. Nasa probinsya kami, 5-minute walk from the office to our place. No? So if you drive, it's also 5 minutes because of the traffic. So why do you need a car for? So yung mga ganon. Kasi hindi kailangan lahat ng pera nakalagay sa negosyo. Dahil nga, sabi mo, pag may opportunities na dumating, malakas ang loob mo. Kaya mo. Hindi tulad nung pag wala, pag hanggang dito lang yung pera mo, teka, may opportunity, teka, kaya ba natin? At sayang, pag hindi ba, if you let it go. And I really also agree with you, technology, ayun, napakabilis, no? Happening so fast. Tapos yung training natin, training sa mga tao natin para maging ready tayo sa mga opportunities. Because especially our competitors will not be that open-minded. Kaya mas ahead tayo sa race, di ba? So, na-excite na ako dahil papunta na tayo sa technology at sa negosyo. At gustong-gusto ko ng pag-usapan natin ito. Pero bago dyan, dahil more than halfway na tayo. Before we continue with our questions, let's take a quick commercial break. Yan. Alam mo yung feeling na kahit tinuruan mo na, mali pa rin ang gawa? Tinuro mo na, in-explain mo na, pero ang dami pa rin tanong. Lagi kang nag-aayos, lagi kang nag-aalalay. Parang walang natuto ng buo. Kaya ikaw pa rin ang last touch. Ikaw pa rin ang lagi na puyat. Ikaw pa rin ang laging stress. Pero sinong nagturo sa iyong magturo? Wala, di ba? That's why so many business owners stay stuck. Hindi dahil walang team na magaling, kundi dahil walang system para magturo ng tama. Minsanan lang. And if this sounds like your story, anak, I made something for you. Comment 1 task off to get the course. Thank you so much. No, you don't have to comment one task off, no, kasi nandiyan na yung link sa ating Zoom chat at saka sa ating Facebook chat, no, yung which is the new course na ginawa ko. This is totally online. Napakaiksi lang po nito. Matatapos yata ninyo yung course ng mga siguro less than 1 hour. You can watch it at the comfort of your homes, pero ang importante dyan ay i-implement. Kasi pag in-implement natin, medyo matagal-tagal. Abutin tayo ng 1 linggo na i-implement natin yan every day. But ang kagandahan, after that, you can already take one task off your plate. Kung marami kayong ginagawa, pwede nyo nang ipamigay yung ibang mga task na walang paulit-ulit na training. Yan, no? I hope you can check that out. And habang tayo ay babalik na sa ating question. Pero, bago tayo mapunta sa question na tungkol sa one by one tax, meron tayong mga ilang questions dito. From Roland Mendoza, magkaiba po ba ang salary sa management fee? Paano daw niya i-account sa income statement yung salary nila as owner? Yan, lalo na kung single proprietorship siguro. How do we do that?
Management fee. Typically, management fee is paid to a group na nagmamanage ng business natin. Pero if it is you running the business, I think it should be really a salary. Also recommended if we're paying our taxes. So dapat magbayad tayo ng tax. So may withholding. Sana merong SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. So kumpleto po yung ano. I know it's very tempting sometimes. Kuha na lang tayo ng neto. Mahirap pong i-account yun in terms of kasi professional fee is what you're going to record, but you are the owner of the business. Sa mata po ng BIR, it doesn't make sense. So I would highly recommend that we pay ourselves talagang yung tama, which is salary.
Yeah, can we have a salary expense for single proprietorship na business? Tapos tayo rin yung employee? Or does it have to be some sort of withdrawal? Ganun ba?
Yeah, if you're a sole prop, kasi sa'yo naman yung pera, mostly they do not really have a salary for themselves. But if you have, when the business starts getting employees, syempre, na yan, you have to register sa SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and all the government agencies. So that's the time that magkakaroon na po sila ng salary expense. Yung tax naman po kasi sa self-employed, if it is medyo straightforward, unless if you do an 8%, yung total na yon minus the exemption amount, which is 250,000, is taxed at 8%, and then the rest iyon na. So it's not
Pwede both ways.
Yeah, pwede both ways, unless it's graduated rate. Syempre iba naman yung treatment.
Yan, medyo technical na, medyo ako'y nahihilo-hilo na.
Phone a friend or chat with us, and then we can
Kaya kailangan pag may mga tanong na ganyan, kausapin na natin sila directly, and later we will let you know how to get in touch with Marvin and Jenny. Yan. Itong isa pang question bago tayo mapunta kay one by one tax. This is from Joy Peña. Sabi niya, kasi nag-mention ka kanina about separating the accounts. Sabi niya, how many accounts normally should be maintained for what? Should it be maintained in different banks?
Ito sa amin lang, but although I do not see this, most of the Philippine setup in businesses na nakikita namin, for some reason, they just have a lot of relationships with different banks. Banks, sana hindi rin natin silang tratuhin na parang vendor lang. Kasi they are a relationship, So in most businesses that we help in different countries, usually iisa yung bank relationship nila. It does not mean iisa yung bank account nila. So they're really, really keeping yung relationship very tight. So if they have a relationship with ABC Bank, nandun talaga yung bank accounts nila. Bank accounts can, usually nag-start sila business checking account or the business operating account, which is where they receive money yung sa sales, and then where money goes out, particularly to pay suppliers. So, isang account yun. Another account we see sometimes is savings account. Pero, usually, it's the same bank pa rin. Yun yung typical na pagsisimula, to start the relationship in a banking setup, the banking relationship. Does it mean that, we'll just keep it na ganon? Of course, the answer is no. Kasi if you see an opportunity, let's say, okay, savings naman to, pero another relationship bank provides better rates for you and nakikita mo naman na, may opportunity, it by all means, open an account with them. Another one, sometimes when we borrow money from another bank, hindi yung relationship bank natin, unfortunately, that bank sometimes we will not lend you the money unless you open a bank account with us. So, dun siya dumadami. But keep it simple. If you are able to keep it simple, keep it simple. Start with one banking relationship. Start with a checking account. If you need a savings account, open a savings account with one banking relationship. It can get complicated, but the simpler it is, the better for you to reconcile, to know your finances. Have a close holding with your finances.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marvin. I agree also to share my experience. We deal with only one bank sa negosyo namin. Maraming account for iba-ibang mga bagay. Yung personal namin, sa personal may 2 kaming account. Isa sa savings, isa sa gastusin where we disburse, pambayad sa rental, pambayad sa mga kung ano-ano nandoon. No? So, yung mga pambayad, nandoon na siya, doon na namin dinideposit at doon kami nagbabayad. Tapos yung isa is for like emergency funds or whatever other funds that we need it for. Travel fund or whatever. Tapos, andun din yung aming mga business fund. Tama yun. I really agree with what you said, Marvin, na developing the relationship with that bank. Kasi kung kilala tayo ng bank, lalo na kung kilala natin ng bank manager. Dati ang mga bank manager nakatago nung kapanahunan namin. Ngayon sila na yung nasa harap, kaya madali mo silang kaibiganin. Kaibiganin natin sila and they will pay attention to us if we have many accounts. Dahil meron silang mga target na accounts And we can tell them what we need, what are our plans for our business expansion. Para sila rin, parang partner na rin natin. Tutulungan nila tayong maghanap ng ways para tayo mapautang, to give us loans o anong klaseng mga suggestions nila para ma-grow natin yung ating negosyo. Para meron tayong ka-partner na bank manager. Kasi if ikakalat natin sa iba-ibang banks, hindi tayo makikilala ng mga banks kasi maliliit lang yung accounts natin. Pero pag pulled together, medyo considerable yung size natin and therefore they will pay attention to us. Diba, Marvin? No? Of course, hindi tayo forever sa isang bangko dahil pag lumalaki na yung negosyo natin, kung minsan, kailangan natin ng another bank. Depende. Tulad namin, nag-expand kami sa mga areas na wala nitong bank na to, hindi sila available, ibang bank, so doon kami nag-open ng another account. Pero meron kaming major na bank at merong mga other banks na wala talagang choices dahil mas convenient. Pero yun, for si Joy, establish a relationship with your banker. They are there to help us. Yan. Sabi ni Irish Malapitan, familiar po si Ma'am Galang, one of our bosses from BPO. Meron ka ng fans dito. Okay, so let's now go to the question that I have been wanting to ask about your amazing product. Kasi nabanggit kanina ni Jenny na nililista nila yung kanilang mga accounts para makip track nila, and therefore because they are using their own software application, they can trust na maayos yung pag-a-account ng kanilang mga kaperahan. And that is the amazing product, si Juan by Juan Tax. Can you tell us more about it? Like, bakit nito na umpisahan? At ano yung pwedeng maitulong ng Juan by Juan Tax sa ating mga business owners, lalo na yung mga couples, para hindi sila magkamali sa paghawak ng kanilang pera at para mapunta sila sa kanilang ambisyon na business success. Yan, haba ng tanong ko.
It started initially as a tax application kasi accountant po ako by profession. Although yung practice natin was not really in the Philippines. It was from another country. But when 2017, when we had an opportunity to set up another corporation and I really got involved sa tax filing, na-experience ko yung challenges in terms of tax compliance. Primarily, preparation of tax forms, payment of taxes, and then the whole gambit. That's where the journey started. if I'm an accountant by profession, if I'm having difficulty understanding tax compliance, complying, paano pa po kaya yung mga negosyante? There are millions of us, no, of you guys out there. So the goal was really, sana i-record ko ito isang beses. Ayoko nang makita yung mga documents na to. Hindi ko na uulitin. Sana ma-file na niya yung ma-populate na niya yung tax return na to, tax return na yan. And sana ma-file ko rin sa BIR. At sana mabayaran ko rin ng simple without really spending half a day falling in line sa bangko, commuting, whether it's our time or our team members' time. Baka meron tayong runner na pinapipila. So that was the journey or the start of One Tax, where we started. So it started as a tax compliance working with BIR all the way to 2023. And nag-iiba po kasi yung pangangailangan. So yeah, okay na yung tax is there, has been around 2023 with, the general global experience na pakonti ng pakonti yung accountants in general na tumutulong sa public. Kasi baka yung accountants either meron na silang ibang ginagawa or ayaw na nilang mag-accounting, which was the general experience 2023, even probably up to today. Nag-iba po yung kwento. So, naging kwento ngayon, bukod sa tax, kinakailangan may proper accounting. Kasi doon siya nagsisimula. In-address namin yung tax sa simula in partnership with other software. But unfortunately, yun nga, nag-iba po yung narrative niya. And so that's where we decided to continue the journey. Bukod sa tax, ginawa namin ng accounting application, which is si One. So One's the accounting layer, One Tax is the tax compliance layer. Again, same vision, same goal to help business owners. Hopefully, with the automation, ma-address yung kakulangan ng tao. Sana dahil simple siya, kaya ng accountants natin or bookkeepers natin na gamitin. Sana makatulong sa collection because may payments din siya. Sana. So lahat, unti-unti, kung ano po yung pangangailangan ng business owner na naririnig namin that would make sense that, unti-unti po namin ina-address dun sa accounting application.
And marami namang mga Marvin, marami namang mga accounting application na. Ano ang meron ang ating One na wala doon sa mga ibang mga kilala na international brands na accounting application?
Highly localized sa market, no, yung One by One Tax po, no. And then secondly is we're proud to be one of the first sa market to also release our AI, no. So kasi yung other global brands out there, they're just starting to release, no, just this
may in-announce.
But for us, we released it earlier this year, no, with our patented AI based in Singapore, no, yung Clio. So yun yung mga things na kakaiba. And also payments, as what you've mentioned, yung accounting software can be connected to the payment para makakolekta ka from your customers faster and also ma-reconcile na maayos, mabilis, no? So yung mga payments yon, you can collect sa mga clients mo using credit card, debit card, QRPH, i-invoice mo lang yung client mo and then the payment link is already there.
Mami, and i-emphasize ko lang yung sinabi ni Jenny, particularly sa localization. Kasi, we cannot discount yung strength nung applications, especially sa international, when it comes to market where they originated. So, yung isa nag-originate sa ibang bansa, very, very strong, And the reason they're strong is because it's customized for that market. Yung taong gumagamit, yung paggamit, yung payments, any other tech that's connected there, matatag sila. We saw the challenge dito for local. And to the point na syempre, yung understanding ng totoong nangyayari sa practice, which is our accountants, our bookkeepers, ano ba talaga yung day-to-day na nangyayari sa kanila, yung challenges nila, kung maa-address. Yun po yung tinutukan natin. Kasi very basic in terms of recording a bill. Sa ibang bansa po, as a practitioner for other countries, ang pag-record ng bill sa kanila, manual recording, probably wala po siyang 30 seconds, probably 1 minute, okay ka na. Kasi ang kinukuha lang pangalan ng vendor. Hindi po, sa Philippines, hindi po ganun. Kasi kung value-added tax yung taxpayer, marami pong nire-require yung government in terms of details nung invoice na it will take us more time in terms of processing. TIN number, yung address ng vendor. So talagang kinukumpleto po natin yan. Na nung time na nag-try po akong mag-record, inabot ng almost 5 minutes. Kasi ibang area yung paglalagyan mo ng address, TIN number, ano ba to, goods ba to o service.
Nakakalito.
So, ang daming opportunity to make a mistake. Ayan po yung in-address ng ating tools for, again, localization for the market would be the biggest competitive advantage.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, ito yung gets ko. Kung kukuha ako ng mga yamadong software at yun ang gagamitin ko for my accounting as a business owner dito sa Pilipinas, mabagal siya at wala siyang mga interrelated na payment portals na adjusted dito sa local natin. Halimbawa, pag nagbayad ng GCash, or pag nagbayad ng credit card nating local, mahirap i-record or is it even impossible maybe kung hindi natin ima-manual? Samantalang kung one by one tax ang gagamitin natin, madali na lang. Dahil meron na kayong mga kausap na mga payment portals na local. Tama ba? Yun ba yung ibig sabihin ng localized?
Yes.
Yes, tapos yung mga requirements din dahil ang BIR natin at ang yung ibang mga tax agencies ng ibang country ay magkaiba. So yung ating one by one tax is talagang alam na niya kung ano yung mga pangangailangan ng local government, ang government natin dito sa Pilipinas para mas madali niya na lang ma-extract yung mga information ng mga resibo, ng mga collection, bills, ng ating supplier, kaya mas madali. Is that tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ko?
Tama po. So yun po yung dalawa. Payments is one. Sabi nyo nga po, integration with local payment providers na nagpo-provide ng electronic payment capabilities sa ating users. No? Nandun, nakakabit po yun dun sa system. Pwede nyong i-turn on and then you can receive electronically, which other systems would not have. Tama po yung sinabi nyo, pag ginamit nyo yung iba, magre-record kayo manually, magre-reconcile kayo manually ng collection. Yung sa tax form would be a major ano. Kasi being an accountant who also tried to sell other systems locally, lagi po akong tinatanong ng mga business owners and even fellow accountants, Marvin, number 1, kaya ba akong tulungan yan sa tax compliance? And hindi ko po maintindihan yun before. Ano naman tax compliance yung itutulong nito? Madali naman ata yung tax compliance. Mali po ako. So, daming tax forms, ang daming isasubmit, hindi po siya madali. Pangalawa is payroll. Lagi po yan. Pag accounting software, laging iniisip ng business owner, matutulungan mo ba ako sa payroll? Matutulungan mo ba ako sa tax compliance? Obviously, sa tax compliance is a major competitive advantage because again, it automates the forms and then we allow you to file to the government and also pay taxes to the government.
Kasi based on experience, if you're not using the software, local business, kung sino man yung gumagawa ng tax compliance would have to download ilang tools ng government, no? So they have to download 3 tools of the government plus Excel mo pa. So you're talking about 4 tools na hindi siya konektado. So malaki yung chance din na may magkakamali kasi tao lang naman tayo. But if you're using just one platform that's already seamless, you can connect the accounting to tax. Then once lang kayo magpapagod, no? Upload nyo lang yung resibo, i-approve nyo lang, and then it will all go directly to the tax forms if you are filing taxes.
Yan, no? So, I hope nakita ng mga nanonood sa atin the advantage of one by one tax. So, that helps you as a couple manage your business better and of course, yung inyong personal, no? Yan. So, ito kay Irish Malapitan from Facebook. Pag po startup business and seasonal type of business like catering, ilang % po ba dapat ang expenses to sustain the event? Ilang % dapat ang kita and from kita doon po ba ibabawas ang sahod ng owners or isasama sa expenses ng event? I don't know how to answer this. Maybe you are in a better position to do this.
Well, yung percentage ng kita is a function of really price, how much you want to make out of that engagement or out of that event. Of course, if you go and look at sa market, how much events usually make, you're gonna get a percentage. Pero are you happy with that? I don't know. Sometimes yung happiness, there's no limit to people's greed sometimes. Huwag na nating ituloy yung discussion na yun. Kasi maraming pupuntahan yan. But yung question on saan i-deduct yung salary or is it after the profit? Sana wag. When we are coming up with a budget on an event and to price, dapat included siya ron. Para malaman natin yung kabuuan as far as ano ba talaga ang mga gastos in order to come up with a successful event. So yung revenue nun, ito po yung mga gastos including our salary, including people's salary, and then ito po yung neto, yun yung kikitain natin. That will allow you to come up with a benchmark in future events. Kunyari nagpa-bid or bid naman. Kunyari nagpa-request for proposal and then sasali tayo sa malalaman natin kung tama yung pagpa-price because we have a barometer, we have a measure now kung paano siya i-cost at magkano yung presyo.
Yan, no? So kasama sa ating paggawa ng budget, sabi ni Marvin, kung gagawa tayo ng event, syempre hindi lahat ng event ay tatanggapin natin. Dahil titingnan natin kung kikita tayo. So, i-add na natin yung ating sweldo dyan. Depende nga. Kung halimbawa, for me, kung let's say madaming oras kayo, kasi yung iba, sila yung may-ari, sila talaga yung nandoon sa catering. And therefore, you have to be paid a bigger amount kung involved kayo sa catering. Pero kung na-delegate nyo na yung catering fully at wala na kayong masyadong contribution doon in terms of time and effort, then siguro maliit na lang ang kailangan ninyong ilagay dyan. And then this one is still from Irish. Yeah, it's still from Irish. Sabi niya, from kita, how much pong ideal percentage ang itatabi for business growth and how much naman po for personal? Would you want to answer that question?
We do not have again a standard kung magkano yung how much money we reinvest in the business or we keep in the business. In fact, we actually leave it there. So far, to grow the business and reinvest, whether reinvest in technology, reinvest in computers, reinvest in, additional opportunity, nandun siya.
When we started our CPA firm in the US, magkano lang pera natin?
Well, we were generating $2,500 a month.
Kaming dalawa nung time na yon. And then kung winidraw lang namin lahat yon at para naglagay kami ng kasi lahat yon pinapasok namin, other than sa maliit na sweldo ko, pinapasok namin lahat yon for growth. So siguro hindi namin maatim yung kung nasan kami ngayon sa outsourcing if we did not reinvest. So yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with that, kasi ang karamihan kasi ng mga employees, pag nagnegosyo sila, akala nila, oy, ang saya-saya. Tulad ng mga sweldo nila dati, kung magkano yung sweldo, akala nila, lahat din yon na lumalabas na pera sa business ay pwede nilang gastusin. Dahil meron pang darating next month at next kinsena at next kinsena. Kailangan po, if you are business-minded, then you look at the business as a separate entity from yourself. Parang kumbaga, nagkaroon ka ng may boss ka dati sa trabaho mo. Ngayon, may boss ka rin. And yung boss mo is your business. Kaya magkahiwalay dapat ang tingin doon. So, yung pera mo is sweldo mo lang. And then, tamang-tama lang, just enough for you to be able to survive. Yung family mo, mga needs, and so on. Tapos, kung gusto nyo pa ng konting travel, add a little bit. Or if you have insurance, you also add a little bit from there. Pero, yun lang. Now, kami ang aming practice, if I may share, is meron kaming kinukuhang certain percentage. So, hindi yung how many ang ideal percentage ang itatabi for business growth. Hindi yun ang tanong. Ang tanong is, ano yung percentage na kukunin namin para sa sarili naming reward? Dahil ang remaining noon ay lahat na pupunta sa negosyo. So, sa amin po, 10%. Yan. Kung may kinita, yung 10%, that will be for us to travel kasi we believe in educating our children through travel para makita nila yung ano bang itsura ng Thailand, ano bang itsura ng Cambodia, para mabuksan yung kanilang mga utak sa hindi lang pala ganito ang buhay. Marami palang ibang options na we can learn from. So yon, ang question is ilang % ang kukunin ninyo para sa profit share? And the rest will all go to the business para to get ready for opportunities. And that is to reinvest. Sige, Marvin, you want to say something?
No, I totally agree po dyan. I think I just want to share yung dalawang concept. Una, yung delayed gratification, which is really something na nahihirapan akong makita these days, even with employees. Obviously, they want their reward right away. So in business, ganun din. So if you're in business, super delayed gratification. Even kami at this point, no, yes, you may be able to afford certain things, but we try to really look at how else can we grow this business, what is the end game, what do we do after that. Ganun siya. Second is yung concept of reward, which you already mentioned, yung reward. Kasi I think how much of that can go to me or a percentage of what I can get out of it is, I think it's a function of a reward. But reward to me happens after something you set a goal for, and then it happened, and then we have a reward.
Right.
Kasi sana may goal, because sometimes yun din yung salary increase or bonus or something. Are we going to have a bonus at the end of the year? Teka lang, magkano ba tinarget nating growth or sales this year? The business is generating money, may pera, and kumita, positive, magbabayad ng tax, so yun, ganun siya. But yung goal was this much, 100%, the achievement is less than 50%. Pero may kita pa rin. So again, the question is, do we issue bonus? Do we issue a reward? Short answer for me is, I don't think so. Kasi even though we made money, the money should stay in the business and should continue to operate, kasi next year we do not know what's gonna happen. But if we did not meet our target, our goals, mahirap yung how much is going to go to me. I think that should happen after we set the goal, after we hit the goal, then you can decide. Baka nga yung lahat ng extra gusto mo, iuwi mo na. Kasi na-meet mo naman yung goal mo eh. But, that's a different discussion. But yun lang, yung delayed gratification, hope that's an exercise every business owner should really do. And then the concept of reward and happening after we meet our goals, not really because we generated profits.
Ako naman po, parang kung kinuha ko lahat yung mga yung fruits of the labor, siguro hindi magiging well-grounded yung mga anak namin. Kasi yung mga anak ko, nakita din nila na parang nagpapagod kami sa trabaho, ganyan. Okay naman na we still go on trips together, no? Don't get us wrong. But hindi siya yung sobrang parang labas lahat ng pera, no? So baka mamaya mababae na si Marvin pag binigay ko na sa kanya lahat ng pera. Joke lang. But at one point kami noon sa sobrang reinvest. Minsan napapaisip din na kami noon no? Especially in pandemic na parang, teka, tama ba yung ginagawa natin? Binabaha tayo dito sa Marikina. Tapos parang, is it that about time for us to move out of this place? Diba? Parang ganon. So, kasi lahat ng pera namin nilagay namin sa negosyo. Pero yun yung time na very intimate namin na moment na very big decision na I think siguro mas maganda din na rin tayo magsimula muli dito sa kasi mahal lang real estate din sa Manila. So maganda din siguro sa Pampanga na tayo magstay. The business is also here, the community is here, and parang it just parang makes sense. It was also perfect timing because it was toward the end of the pandemic, madaling maglipat ng bahay, no? So parang the stars aligned kasi before parang hindi ko ma-compute paano ako lalabas ng Manila, no? But in this case naman, sabi ko, ang ganda kasi nung nag-usap kami, parang everything aligned, especially when it came to finances, no? Tapos parang syempre lahat ng decision natin, kakabahan ka. Pero God is always there for us. Laging parang feeling mo, kala mo, minsan iisipin mo, magsasara na ba tayo ng negosyo? Pero laging nagkakaroon ng paraan. Why we're still here, no? Especially in this business din po.
Yeah, so true, no? Ay, yung mga nanonood sa atin na hirap, if you're really hirap, baka naman you're just depending on your own capability. Sa experience ko din, pag when you are down and out, no? Parang, teka muna, it's time to tumingala. At kasi kung nakasandal talaga tayo sa pader, mas madali ang buhay. Pero kung puro tayo lang, it's all about us, then there comes a time na talagang hindi natin kakayanin. No, and I also agree, I really agree with the two of you. Kaya nakikita ko rin, yung pandemic was really a blessing dahil ang negosyo namin was a jewelry store. Sa major business namin, among all the others, were jewelry stores. Alam niyo naman nung nagka-pandemic, sino ang bibili ng alahas? Hindi ba? Dahil hindi essential yun. So, kaya for several years talagang bagsak yung aming negosyo. But because, tama yun sabi ni Marvin, meron kaming mga goals, no? Before that, may mga goals na na-attain, kaya meron ng reward, meron kaming na-set aside. At eto, si Redmer De Leon nagtatanong, no? Paanong pag-handle ng business money? Kapag may excess daw na natira, smart move ba na i-invest na siya to grow the business or itabi lang muna? So, nakatabi siya, waiting for opportunities, pero meron palang mga pandemic na mangyayari. Namalay ba namin sa buong buhay namin? Hindi naman namin na-imagine yan. Pero just imagine, kung wala kaming naitabi. Kung lahat yan ay ginastos namin at nag-happy-happy kami, so paano na lang yung mga tao? So because of that, because of what we were setting aside, then when the pandemic happened, nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpapasweldo. Although, talagang working from home, nabawasan, nagtulungan, pati yung mga tao, pero alam nila that we were really trying. We were really trying to support each other. At sa awa naman ng Diyos, naibsan naman namin yung difficult times na yun. Kaya ang sagot dito sa tanong ni Redmar is pag may excess ba, smart move ba na i-invest siya to grow the business or itabi na lang muna? So how would you answer this, Marvin and Jen?
Decision on reinvesting and growing the business, it's case to case eh. So hindi ko alam kung anong negosyo ni Redmar. Oo, hindi ko po alam, no. Sa amin, it's just obvious because we have a 3-year, 5-year strategy in terms of where we want to go. And so even before kumita siya, we already know where to use the funds for. So if you have that vision of where you want to bring that business, yun yung sasagot if I should reinvest it or not. You know, year after year, syempre titignan mo yung situation. Kunyari ngayon, I mean, we're in the software business, but our clients are in service business, accountants, CPA firms, different businesses. If you look at the accounting profession, for instance, they generate funds, they generate money. Okay, ang question, saan nila i-reinvest yung pera nila? Is it about buying software, technology, developing their own software to augment them with AI, not compete with it? To augment them with AI, mag-develop ba sila? Or it can be a decision for buying other CPA practices, consolidating other CPA. So it will depend on your your 3 to 5 year vision, your 3 to 5 year plan, and whether it makes sense to put that money in and use it to grow.
Yan. Yeah, I love that answer, no? Marvin. Redmar, sana narinig mo si Marvin, no? Kanina narinig natin na hindi lang tayo basta-basta kukuha ng dividendo, ng reward kung wala tayong goals at hindi natin na-exceed yung goals. Okay? Ngayon naman ang natututunan natin kay Marvin is talagang magpaplano tayo. Saan ba papunta ang business natin? May vision ba tayo sa negosyo natin? Kasi kung wala, hindi natin alam kung saan ilalagay yung pera na yan. Samantalang kung may excess money tayo at meron tayong vision, alam natin na okay, hindi pa natin kaya itong next step pero alam natin kung saan natin ilalagay yung pera. Probably we can start training the people so that when that thing happens, when whatever it is in our vision happens, ready na yung ating tao. Ready na rin tayo. We can probably invest also in the hardware or the software or whatever it is that we need for the next level of our vision. Yan, yun ang natutunan ko sa iyo, Marvin. Thank you very much for that. Yun, kaya itatabi natin yung pera, pero alam natin, itatabi natin for what? Hindi lang yung itatabi natin na wala lang, nandyan lang siya, nagwe-wait. Kasi pag nandyan lang siya, hindi natin alam at baka matempted pa tayong gumastos. Yan. So, si Sydney Salinas Shinterzen is, sabi niya, ko-comment siya, no? Kasi maraming nagtatanong kung magkano yung dapat na sweldo. So, sabi niya, yung ginagawa daw niya is nag-start daw siya ng minimum salary or sometimes wala pang ang sweldo, pero may percentage daw siya ng dividends or net profit. Para yung pera daw na matatanggap niya will depend on the value I bring to the table, which is exactly what you said, Marvin, no? Value I bring to the table or the business performance. So, tinatanong niya, is this a good system, Marvin? Di ba? Okay lang? Good
Yes.
because that's what you said, no? Yes?
Correct. So it's based on value, start small, whatever, based on your needs. Kanina, we also talked about eventually, if it's already running smoothly, probably based on market, at the end of the day, it's a function of your calculation. If you're able to generate significant profits and yung dividend kasi very subjective. Wala naman siyang set formula depending on, hopefully, if we met our goals, if we have enough, you would be able to, again, declare dividends. Ano na yan, ha? That's a blessing because not everybody can do that.
Okay. So next, no, si Joy Peña again is asking kung applicable ba daw ito. Maybe she's asking about Juan tax. Juan, rather. Is it applicable in simple business like laundry shop or trading store?
Yes, all types of businesses po, no? So, even if hindi pa incorporated yung business, you can already use the software. We also have the free model, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng negosyo may budget na agad for the software, no? So, we have the freemium model. Pwede nyo gamitin yon para mag-invoice kayo ng kliyente nyo o ilagay lahat ng transactions nyo doon, no? So, that's how we help starting businesses po with a free model.
Okay, so I hope na sagot yung answer. Yeah, so Joy is sending you a heart. So, but eto very clear, ang question ni Kenneth Miranda. So, any tips daw sa sandwich business?
Totoong sandwich business yung
Oo, kasi sila corner spot Sandwich business ang binebenta nila.
Any tips for the sandwich business? Costing is key. Magpa-free taste siguro sila para malaman mo kung ano yung value nung lasa. Di ba parang
Yeah, that's a good idea, no? Free taste to know the comments ng mga tao, no? Kung gusto nila kung ano yung pangangailangan ng mga customers. Pero what you said also, costing is key pag nasa food business. We were in Chowking. When we were in Chowking before, napakahigpit talaga sa costing. At kailangan within anong range lang dapat yung food cost namin. Kasi if you go beyond that, patay na yung negosyo. Even yung lahat controlled, kahit na yung kuryente namin, yung tubig, yung lahat ng mga gastusin controlled. Manpower also is controlled. Hindi pwedeng sobrang dami ng tao. So, if you need any more tips for your food business, Kenneth, I'd like to encourage you to get in touch with me. I can help you here by sharing what I have learned from my years of
keep it fresh yung ingredient, and yung tinapay is key. Tinapay. Diba?
Yeah. Dapat wag matigas. Depende.
Oo.
Sabi naman ni Iris Malapitan, yan. To corner spot, you can tie up sa mga catering daw or event suppliers na tulad nila para may additional exposure ka and profit. Yan, nagtutulungan na sila. Okay. Abay nagtatanong, price range daw ng Juan by Juan Tax.
Okay. So it starts with free, which is really free. We have a free trial. You can use it for free and it's free forever. And then you go to yung 2,000 pesos plan. That's 2,000 pesos a month for the additional features, which is it's really full accounting software and then tax software. So 2,000 a month. Now, we also have yung last plan, which is really for probably close to medium enterprises who may require additional, compliance, additional features, primarily computerized accounting software. Yun, medyo iba yung pricing po nun. Starts at 10,000 But 90% I would say nandun sila sa 2,000 pesos a month price range.
Yan. Alam nyo ba na napakamura ng 2,000 pesos a month? Kasi yung masisave natin dyan, no? Instead na 3 tao tayong nandoon sa ating accounting department, 1 tao na lang dahil nagagawa na ni Juan by Juan Tax. Yung mga gagawin ng dalawa na paulit-ulit. Tapos kasi the more people you have, the more mistakes you can have. Kaya I don't want you to see it as an expensive thing. You can start with a freemium, free forever.
Yes.
Forever with limited capabilities, and as you need more things to be added to it, then that is when you go for the 2,000 a month.
Akala daw nila, Mami N, sa asawa lang daw may forever. Pero may forever din daw.
May forever pala si Juan. Okay. So, etong isa, ang haba ni Xavier Lumano Grubillos. Is it wise to find an angel investor? At meron daw silang travel agency and naaprubahan daw sila of a ticketing system from a shipping line, but the problem is they require 200,000 and we do not have that amount now. So, if mag-loan naman daw sila, baka suicide na po ito sa monthly expenses namin, pati sa ibang system namin. Wala pang pondo. Credit card lang gamit para makapag-issue ng tickets at sa daming malaking competitors nakakadismaya minsan kasi we are way back. So you have experience with this, developing a software, and is it wise to find an angel investor?
General rule, involve less people in your business.
Amen to that.
If you can operate it on your own sweat, on your own sweat, tears, blood, do it. Involve less people. Angel investors, so credit card might be an option. You know, if it works, if it doesn't work, at least ikaw lang yung damay.
Pero meron pang ibang option,
Yeah.
line of credit.
Yeah. Credit card, line of credit, yan. So, now, angel investors in general, they serve, very, very specific functions, diba? When it comes to growth. And may reason for looking for investors. And if your reason is just funding, probably wag na. Okay? I would look for an investor, really not the money, but what can that investor bring to my business? Yeah, if it's an angel investor, maybe travel agency. If the angel investor is within that business as well, probably, reselling tickets or di ko alam, packaging tours, baka pa, because it may help you. But if the investor is there just for the sake of money and they don't know anything about your business, run. Takbo. Do not even talk. Do not entertain. Yun po siya. Know that investors, there's a reason they exist, is to grow their money. There's that social impact to help us, pero it's really growth. They accumulate investments because they help businesses grow their business, because at the end, they want their money back and they want to multiply that X number of times, diba? And if you do not have a plan to really return that, yung ganong klaseng multiplier that they require, it's going to be tough. So, yun, in general, that's my advice.
Yeah. Mas mabuti pang ikaw ang magkautang-utang kaysa meron pang nangungutang ka tapos meron pang ibang nagagalit sa iyo. Yun ngang asawa mo lang, hindi ba nakakainis na yon na araw-araw kang sinasabihan na ikaw kasi. Lalo na kung angel investor, baka devil pa yun, hindi siya angel. Yeah. So I also agree with that, no? So if feel mo naman na do the numbers actually, no? Kung halimbawa may 200,000 ka, tapos wala kang 200,000 uutangin mo, di ko compute mo paano babalik yung 200,000, may babalik ba, kaya mo bang bayaran yon at the right time? Kasi pera lang ipapasok nila sa iyo, tapos magkaiba pala kayo ng mga prinsipyo sa buhay, may iba kayong mga beliefs, tapos iipitin pa kayo dahil hindi nyo maibalik kaagad yung pera. Sakit sa ulo lang yan.
Saka ho sa Mami N, sa Amerika, naintindihan nila yung ibig sabihin ng angel investor. Dito sa Philippines kasi yung angel investor, kahit na bumagsak yung kumpanya mo, I still need my money back. Yung ganun, di ba? So, and if you have investor, nagkataon na sa amin dati nun sa company namin, we were able to secure one na maayos naman na investor, no? So, it's really finding the right investor with the right goal, no? If your goal really is to grow X amount, no? Or just to, yung iba kasi, kukuha akong investor, yung para pang panueldo lang, di ba? So parang pantapal lang, no? So you also need to know why you are getting those funds, no? And really partner with the right people.
Yeah. I know I have at least 2 clients na talagang naghanap ng investor tapos ngayon gusto nang magpakamatay dahil iniipit sila ng kanilang mga investors sa pera. Na hindi lang 2, 3 na pala, no? Dahil nga tapos they had to pay everything for wrong decisions, wala kasing naitulong yung investor sa kanila, sa kagalingan nila. Basta nagbigay lang ng pera. Tapos ang problema sa negosyo, sila ang umako. Kaya ngayon, they have to pay dahil pinipressure sila ng investors. Kaya be very careful with investors. Not all of them are really good, nice to deal with. Yan. Any tips for bigasan business daw? Would you have you dealt with bigasan business?
Hindi po eh. We have not. But like if we're asking for tips, maybe we can be more specific. Is it marketing? Is it money? Is it market? I don't know. I'm always worried about businesses na may buhay. Kasi yung bigas may buhay, may lifespan, may shelf life. Well, I would not run it. Because yun nga, probably the stress of turning it over kasi baka masira. Ako personally, that's my take. I love service businesses, definitely technology, professional services, yeah. But anything with buhay, it's a bit scary for me.
Sa kanya, malakas naman yung negosyo ng bigas.
Yeah.
Ito nung naisip niyo yung tips, ang naisip ko, kasi yung trauma ko dun sa baha dati sa Marikina, nasa kanto lang namin yung bigasan. Binaha yung, so goodbye, right? So, naisip ko pa, naku, ang tips ko, iakyat lahat ng mga bigas, parang ganun. So yun nga, medyo din kami dun sa may lifespan din.
Yeah. Kung ako naman ang tips sa mga negosyo, in general, not only bigasan, yung lahat ng negosyo na pwedeng pasukin ng taong may pera, na kahit na sino pwedeng pumasok, ang labas niyan is bagsakan ng presyo. Yeah, lalo na bigas, that is something that almost anybody with money can get into. Kaya hindi ako papasok sa negosyong bigasan. Although that was the first thing I ever sold, bigas, dahil yun ang kailangan ng tao. Pero yayaman ka ba, lalaki ka ba sa being bigasan by starting with a small store? Medyo mahirap po yun. Kung maliit lang po ang inyong ambisyon, then bigasan would be okay. But if you have a big ambition, you want to grow big, then maybe bigasan is not really that lucrative dahil patayan po ng negosyo yan pag nagtabi-tabi na. Tapos maliliit lang ang margin dyan. No? Dati, kumikita ako ng 15 pesos per 1 sack of rice. But 1 sack of rice na 50 kilos, 15 pesos was only 120 pesos. During the time that I started, imagine 120 pesos kikita ka ng 15 pesos. Malaki yon. Tapos naging mahal na mahal. Tumaas ang presyo ng bigas, pero yung 15 pesos pa rin. Kaya laki-laki ng puhunan. Papatayan dyan. Kaya yon, no? Not only bigas, but other businesses as well. Kasi I can see other businesses asking for tips, no? Go for businesses na ikaw, passion mo, tapos doon ka magaling. Tulad ng makita mo yung couple na si Marvin at saka si Jenny. Jenny is an IT person, nagde-develop siya ng software. She understands software. Tapos si Marvin is a CPA. May experience sila, kaya alam nila yung pain points, alam nila yung hirap ng negosyo na yan. Kaya nag-umpisa sila ng 1-by-1 tax o nag-umpisa sila ng Juan tax kasi alam nila yung problema dyan. O madali ba silang kompetensyahin? Kaya ba natin silang kompetensyahin kahit na marami tayong pera? Hindi, kasi hindi natin alam yon, because that is their strength. That is their calling. No? Kaya ang question dito is, if you have a business and mahirap kumita dahil bakbakan kayong lahat dyan at hindi ka makaangat-angat, maybe that's not your calling. And therefore, I would suggest that you discover your business calling, dahil meron talagang negosyo na para sa iyo na kung saan ikaw lang talaga ang magaling doon. Halimbawa, sandwich. Tulad ni Kenneth Miranda, ikaw ba ay merong sandwich na napakagaling na hindi basta-basta kayang gayahin ng iba? Baka yan ang calling mo. So, yun. I have written a book called Discover Your Business Calling. In case you're interested, we will put the link dyan. No? And we will go to this question ni Oyi Munson din. Can one tax be used by non-accountants?
Yes, definitely. I don't know if we can, but we have an event on September 20 for non-accountants.
Wow!
So you can discover if it is something for you. But this is our first event for non-accountants. September 20, it's online. So the reason we did this, kasi of course our market are accountants, they understand tax, but we saw a lot of people, especially after One Up, we saw a lot of people trying to ask us in registering, finding out, yun lang, sino yung magte-train sa kanila, who's going to take care of them. So that's why we decided, let's try it and see, because the answer is yes, it can be used by non-accountants. Our number 3 employee before was actually a non-accountant. In fact, a non-graduate, hindi pa siya graduate, college graduate. He graduated high school, but he excelled really well in bookkeeping, knowing how to use the application, which I'm sure you guys can do even though you're not an accountant.
And that employee now is
he leads the
outsourcing business.
He's a country head of our outsourcing business.
So, yun. So, actually, pag meron ng sistema, kaya na natin eh. Ang importante lang talagang may magte-train. At mahirap nang mag-hire kasi din ng mga bookkeepers tsaka accountants. Dami kong na-hire ng mga accounting graduate, pero at the end, parang, ano ba to? Hindi nila alam yung kanilang ginagawa. Because they don't think like business owners. They are accountants. Yung mga, sorry lang ha Marvin ha, hindi kita sinasagasaan. Pero, ibang mag-isip. I hope you agree with me. Ang negosyante, ibang mag-isip. Kaya, if you are a business owner and then you do not have a set of hindi clear yung accounting ninyo, ang hirap po. Para kayong tumatakbo na bulag na naka-cover yung inyong mga eyes. Kaya it's very much advisable na meron tayong clear na accounting system. And since Marvin and Jenny are helping us with the freemium, tapos tuturuan pa tayo, mag-attend tayo. Meron pa tayong link nito? Have you given us the link to that event?
Well, we'll share the link. Wala pa po.
Okay, we will share this.
We'll share it sa forum.
Yeah, may nagtatanong kung applicable sa piggery business. Yes daw, water refilling business. Yes, lahat ng negosyo pwede, no? Okay, ito, nagtatanong na si Angelina kung pwede daw mag-send ng link. So, magte-thank you muna ako bago tayo mag-usap tungkol sa link. Kaya thank you so much, Marvin and Jenny, for sharing your expertise with us today. Ang dami naming natutunan, no? And before we end, do you have any final words of wisdom sa ating mga viewers?
Well, ako po talaga, siguro since ako yung medyo mahilig mag-account, no, di din naman kami naging perfect in a way in terms of managing our finances. We really started from the bottom. As in like bottom, negative, no. Masasabi ko lang na siguro kung dati meron lang tool na nagagamit yung kumpanya para makita yung visibility ng mga financials siguro hindi kami nag-rock bottom noon. No? Pero kaya ako very passionate in terms of what we're doing right now. No? Set aside the outsourcing business, helping couples, and even mga other firms manage their own clients. No? But with one, naiisip ko talaga na kung minanage nyo ng maayos yung business finances nyo, I'm hoping talaga na maiiwasan natin magka-problema sa personal life din natin. Kasi nagtitrickle, again, mas lalo na yung mga sole props dito, magtitrickle down din yung pagiging burara natin sa finances. Sorry naman. No? So, kung hindi tayo maayos sa finances natin sa business and even personal, maapektuhan din yung relationship natin. Kaya ako, sabi ko nga, parang more than anything else, sabi ko, it's just a software, it's just a software. Pero sa akin, masyado siyang mas malaki, no? Kasi I feel na kung talagang tinawag kami ng Diyos to really push this initiative, even working with firms and also the government, no, in terms of filing taxes, no. So kung maging maayos yung negosyo mo, hoping na magiging maayos din kayo mag-asawa. Yun lang po yung akin.
Sa akin po, last is although pera po yung pinag-uusapan natin dito as far as business, I think I just want to share, business is never about money. For us, it has always been about why, yung purpose, why we're in this place in the first place. Marami pong umaga, nagigising kayo, gigising tayo, sometimes ayaw nyo nang bumangon. Uulitin ko na naman yung ginawa ko kahapon, and I can no longer count the number of mornings, especially during the pandemic, where we invested in this business, and then we're always going to ask ourselves, maglalagay ka na naman ng pera, gagastos ka na naman, nalulugi ka na naman. Para kanino? And if our answer was about, our return for ourselves, probably wala na po to. Mag-enjoy na lang akong bumiyahe. But it's always about something. There's a purpose why you are in that business. There's a purpose why we are here. And the sooner you can find that purpose and connect with that purpose, the better the future will be for you and for your business. Money is going to flow after. It is not the cause. Money is the profit. Money is the effect. So we appreciate inviting us here. We appreciate what you do, Mami N, for business owners, even sa amin, you're helping them in terms of finding their purpose, managing their finances, pooling together resources in all walks of life in the Philippines to also help business owners. Wala na pong tutulong sa ating Pilipino kung di kapwa rin nating Pilipino na sana to reinvest in the Philippines and do something that mahirap po yung accounting software, Mami. Mahirap. In fact, yung tax, napakahirap po. Alam nyo po, pag nag-market ng tax, walang makikinig sa inyo. Bakit? Ayaw nyo eh. Sinong bibili nung something na ayaw natin, di ba? Kung ayaw mo, bakit mo pa pakikinggan? Pero there's a clear vision, there's a clear purpose. We want to help business owners to simplify this because this is a real struggle. And so that's why we keep on pushing. So yun lang po for our business.
Yan. Thank you so much, no? Thank you. Talaga, no? Sa gulo ng nangyayari sa bansa natin, marami tayong mga taong may magandang kalooban to really take care of our country. Yan mo na sila kung magkakagulo-gulo sila, magnakaw-nakaw sila, problema na nila yan dahil sasagot naman sila sa tax. Darating din ang araw na kailangan nilang sumagot sa kanilang mga ginagawa. Samantalang tayo, we try to plant good seeds. We try to help as many people as we can. Diba? Kaya yan, one by one tax. Now, how do we get in touch with you?
Yes, so go to our website, one.ac.
Yun, yung website, ipakipost naman yung website para at least, makita. Meron akong nakikita dito, get 90% until end of the year if you subscribe this month. Ito ba yun?
Yes, so just click on that link and register your interest if you want to subscribe to the 90% off ng software namin. Up until end of the year po yun, yung 90% off.
Ito ba yung 90% na sa 2,000?
So magiging 200 po.
Yeah, so yung 2,000 magiging 200 na lang. Oh, wow naman. Grabe ka bait. Yan. Naku, thank you so much. Oh, tapos meron pa dito, and if you are nearby and interested in joining a marriage encounter, I love that. Tell us more about that, please.
Yes. So, saktong-sakto naman. Meron pong marriage encounter this coming weekend, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, we're going to serve also here in Pampanga, Grace Lane Hotel. So, you can just PM us if you're interested, or go to our Facebook page, St. Paul Marriage Encounter Community.
Alam nyo po, ang marriage encounter po, ang laking tulong na nagawa niyan sa aming mag-asawa. Lalo na dun sa time na talagang nagkakagulo-gulo na kami, gusto na naming maghiwalay dahil sa laki ng problema namin sa pera, laki ng problema namin sa negosyo, at hindi na namin alam kung anong gagawin namin, kaya kaming dalawa na yung nagsisisihan. But it was marriage encounter weekend that helped us talk. Kasi marami tayong mga bagay na hindi pinag-uusapan. Ayaw natin pag-usapan, lalo na when it comes to money and many other things, na tutulungan tayo ng marriage encounter to open up our communication lines. Tama ba? Tama ba yung sinasabi ko?
Yes po.
Yun yung kaitulong sa aming mag-asawa.
Same here po, yung naging experience. And apparently, number one pala na problema na mag-asawa is really about money. It's not really market. Infidelity comes second.
Right. And actually, sometimes infidelity, per my experience yung mga third party na yan, nako, ang root cause din yan kapag tiningnan ninyo, pera pa rin. Din yan. Either sobrang pera or problema sa pera, nagsisisihan, nag-aaway, tapos yan, pumapasok yung third party. Yon. Kaya kailangan talagang mapag-usapan. Ako, please join the Marriage Encounter Weekend. You will thank us for that, I'm sure. Yan. So, anything else? Andito na ba yung yung September 20? Parang hindi ko nakita.
Ilalagay na lang po namin na sa comment.
I have the registrations.
Please learn more about it so that alam ninyo kung ano yon. Kasi kung minsan pag pinag-uusapan lang ng ganyan, di natin naintindihan. Pero kapag nakikita na natin kung gaano kadaling gamitin yung 1 by 1 tax, you find it very inspiring. At nako, ano ba yung 200 pesos, Diyos ko?
May kasama na pong AI yon. I-load nyo na po na lahat ng resibo nyo. Nakikita na po natin lahat ng mga na-OCR na po lahat yun. So,
yun daw, no? Imagine kung maglilista tayo ng resibo, kinokopya pa natin isa-isa, samantalang kung may AI, nababasa na ni AI kung ano yon at tinatranslate niya na at nililista niya na. Hindi na natin kailangang i-type.
Yes. Yes po. Yan. Ang ating link for the webinar. Tama ba?
Yan. Diyan na. Pakitype din sa ating Facebook din. Yan. No? So may nagtatanong, pwede din ba ang one sa household management?
Yes. Actually, yung sa free, it's unlimited transactions. You can create yung kita and then yung gastos. So at least kita natin yung saan nanggaling and ano yung yung saan lumabas yung ating pera.
Nag-create ako ng account kasi minsan pag may utang yung ate ko sa akin, baka wag kasi sayang yung ini-invoice ko siya. Jenny, ano ba itong invoice na nakukuha? Para hindi ko malimutan. Okay lang yan, nakalagay lang yan dyan. Pero may account ako na taga-invoice lang sa kanya.
Actually nga yung mga anak namin, kailangan meron silang accounting software. Kasi mahingi ng allowance, sabi. Sige anak, i-send mo sa akin
yung invoice.
Not knowing, apparently, yun pala yung parang nate-train na rin sila to handle, how to properly handle money in a way.
Sige, gawin natin yan. Pati kayo, no? Gawin natin, umpisa natin sa bahay, tapos between the two of us, husband and wife, tapos eventually sa ating mga anak, para madali silang matuto at hindi sila takot sa numbers, hindi sila takot sa accounting.
Right.
So, thank you very much. Maraming salamat ulit, Marvin and Jenny. It's been, nag-overtime na tayo. It's been an honor to have you here. So, okay. So, para sa ating mga viewers, thank you very much sa panunood. Sana nandito pa kayo uli join us again next Tuesday. So in the meantime, remember to sign up to our free newsletter and starter kit sa maminegosyo.com, and don't forget to get in touch with Marvin and Jenny. Contact Juan by Juan Tax sa kanilang Facebook account at yung kanilang 90% until the end of the year if you subscribe this month, no? Register sa Bitly account nila. And nako, please, if you're just nearby, malapit sa Pampanga and interested in joining a marriage encounter, please join the Marriage Encounter Weekend this weekend na po. And if you found this valuable, itong session na to, join us again next Tuesday. Dahil next Tuesday is September 16, meron tayong another episode of Meet My Friend series. At ang ating guest ay magkukwento kung paano nalugi siya ng 500,000 pesos sa kanyang cafe. Daming gustong pumasok sa cafe dito. So pwede natin siyang tanungin kung paano siyang nalugi. Tapos dahil sa pagkalugi na yon, na-discover niya yung kanyang profitable na business na hindi cafe. Ano kaya yon? Kinig tayo, panuorin natin sa Tuesday next week. Ang ating guest will be a young entrepreneur na si Carlo Angelo Orbe and the owner and founder of Task Me Quick. So if you want to register as early as now, please register dito sa www.maminegosyo.com/mmfs Carlo Orbe. Nandiyan na ba ang link? Yes, nandiyan na. So thank you everyone. Thank you again, Marvin and Jenny. Thank you sa lahat ng nanonood. See you next Tuesday, and until then, keep shining and keep being business-minded, Pinoy.